and that is for a meeting of the SCO heads of government. Normally, Prime Minister goes to the higher level meeting, the heads of state, and one of us, it changes. Usually, one of the ministers goes for the heads of government meeting. So that's in line with the tradition. It so happens that the meeting is taking place in Pakistan because, like us, they are a relatively recent member. So your question, I think, as I understood it, was, am I planning for it? Of course, I'm planning for it. I mean, when in my business, you plan for everything which you're going to do, and for a lot of things which you're not going to do, and which could happen also. I mean, you plan for that as well. Expect there would be a lot of media interest because the very nature of the relationship is such, and I think we'll deal with it. But I do want to say it will be for a multilateral event. I mean, I'm not going there to discuss India-Pakistan relations. I'm going there to be a good member of the SCO, but since I'm a courteous and civil person, I will behave myself accordingly. So,
in favor of India, and second option is there should be 7 members with veto power, or next 7 members without veto power. The third is as regular 7 members to be regularly elected for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. So why not to be assertive about this UN score?
मैं आपको जवाब दूं.
Thank you, sir.
So my name is Soumya Sood. Hello, my name is Soumya Sood. I'm closely working in international relations. Given the history of modern war, we have seen that countries that remain on a neutral stand benefit the most out of war situations. So the situation that is currently proceeding in the Middle Eastern countries, what do you think the opportunities and threats could arrive to India?
Hello. Sir, I want your views on setting up of a efficiency commission to improve our governance. Is it possible or being considered by you?
okay. I will end finally since.
And very short. I don't know whether it's really appropriate, but I think in today's time it is, given the fact that it's the Sardar Patel lecture. I'm Sabina and Najit. We've all read a lot about Sardar Patel. In his nationalism, would you consider that he would have envisaged a Hindu Rashtra?
लेट मी स्टार्ट. आपका जो पहला सवाल जो था, देखिए हमारे यहाँ आजकल हर राजदूतावास में, हर उच्चायुक्त में एक कल्चरल सेंटर है. ये पिछले दशक में ये परिवर्तन आया है, और हर जगह जो है हमारे यहाँ से प्रयास तो जरूर होता है कि कम से कम योगा का टीचिंग, जो अगर कोई भाषा है, हिंदी, संस्कृत, तमिल, जो भी है, और जो हमारे नृत्य जो हैं, डांस वगैरह जो हैं, इनकी टीचिंग हो. अब इसके अलावा कुछ सेंटर्स हैं जहां या तो हमारी समुदाय बड़ी है या वहां भारत के बारे में रुचि इतनी ज़्यादा है कि हमने छोटे सेंटर को और बड़ा बनाया है. जैसे आप ये नॉर्मली कुछ रूस जैसे जगह या यूके है या कुछ और हैं ऐसे. अब इसमें जो नया इनिशिएटिव जो आया है, जो प्रधानमंत्री ने हम लोगों को ये निर्देश दिया है कि हम तिरुवल्लुवर सेंटर जो है दुनिया में स्थापित करें. तो मुझे लगता है कि पहला सेंटर कुछ ही दिनों में कहीं एक देश में हम जरूर इसको स्थापित करेंगे. तो जो आप कह रहे हैं, मैं जरूर मानता हूं कि आजकल दुनिया में भारत के बारे में जिज्ञासा ज़्यादा है, और इंटरनेशनल डे, योग दिवस के बाद जो है लोगों के मन में है कि भारत में कुछ ऐसी, जैसे आपने कहा कि कुछ ज्ञान है, कुछ ध्यान है, कि कुछ सीखने को है. तो ये है जरूर, और हम जरूर इसको हम मानते भी हैं. अब इसको हम कैसे अपनी ओर से इसको कैसे आगे बढ़ाएं, ये जरूर हमारे मन में है, और मुझे लगता है जो ICCR जो हमारे लिए एक किस्म से व्यवस्था है ये करने के लिए, ये ICCR एक अपने आप को एक किस्म से मॉडर्नाइज कर रही है इस चुनौती को आगे ले जाने के लिए। जो दूसरा सवाल जो है आपका, जो योर क्वेश्चन ऑन गुड गवर्नेंस, पीपल लिव इन डिफरेंट टाइम्स, यू नो, ड्यूरिंग सरदार पटेल्स टाइम we had just come out of the partition. The country was really traumatized, because when partition happened, nobody really saw what it would mean on the ground, the bloodshed that happened, and the disruption that happened. Now, if you look at Atalji's time, what had happened at that time was that the original socialist model had created a crisis in 1991. We were rebuilding after that. Many decisions had been put up. So I would say Atalji in many ways would be particularly remembered because, one, he took the long delayed decision on nuclear, exercising the nuclear option. But what people appreciate less, he was a big economic reformer. That if you look at the economic numbers of that period, they are really very, very impressive numbers. So there would be comparisons, there would be changes during, even in Jammu and Kashmir, which was your particular focus, the situation in 1950, situation in 1998, 99, and situation today in 2024 is very different. So my sense is, every Prime Minister, tries to improve governance. After all, that is part of the responsibility you have. Some have a greater focus, a greater, I would say, grip, a stronger sense. I mean, if you look at the present Prime Minister, the kind of emphasis which he puts on training, and the kind of feedback mechanisms that we have, the degree of rigor, as someone who started many years ago, I mean, the Prime Minister when I started my career was Morarji Desai. So when I look from there to today, honestly, the rigor and the workload and the expectation of people in government has gone up. And I think in many ways the kind of delivery expectation in society, people are not willing to wait the way they would have waited 10 or 20 years ago. Society has become impatient in this country, and rightly so in many respects. Your question, जो आपका जो था UN के बारे में, look, we are not waiting for the failure of UN to reform UN. The UN needs to be reformed because it is 80 years old. And when UN was formed, there were 51 members and all 51 were not free. We were one of the founding members. Today there are 193 members. So imagine if something has changed from 51 to 193. How can the management remain the same? It doesn't make any sense.